Hello, and welcome to Next Up with Naming St. Louis. I'm your host, Will Houston. I'm the Marketing and Technology Chair of Naming St. Louis. And on this podcast, we're here to explore the stories, experiences, and insights of dynamic professionals making strides in their careers. We'll be speaking with those who are on a journey of growth and advancement, rising stars who are not yet vice presidents but are making real impacts in their fields. Our goal is to inspire, inform, and connect you with incredible talent shaping the future of the communications industry. Thank you for joining us today. Let's introduce our next guest. Denise Hetep is a dedicated professional with a passion for workforce development, mentorship, and leadership. As a workforce administrator at a well-known national communications company, she plays a key role in optimizing workforce efficiency while also serving as a peer trainer, equipping colleagues with the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. With a project management certificate and a commitment to professional growth, Mrs. Hetep strives to create opportunities for individuals to realize their potential. She believes that fostering personal development is essential to building strong individuals, families, neighborhoods, and communities. Beyond her corporate role, Denise is also a business owner alongside her husband, demonstrating an entrepreneurial spirit and dedication to building a legacy. She is the proud mother of 2 children and 4 grandchildren, cherishing the values of family, hard work, and perseverance. As a naming chairperson, Mrs. Hetep is committed to creating pathways for professional advancement and empowering individuals to achieve their goals. Through mentorship and advocacy, she helps others navigate their careers with confidence and purpose. Denise, can you just start off by introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So first, I want to say thank you, Will, for having me. It's definitely an honor to be here with you today. So to speak to who I am, I'm a dedicated wife, mother, grandmother, entrepreneur, and employee of one of the leading telecommunications companies here in the U.S.
Awesome. And yes, thank you for being here as well. And it's an honor to have you join us on the podcast. I know you're new to the naming leadership, so we'll get into that a little bit, but a little bit later. I'm really excited to talk to you about that. But yeah, just kind of starting off and having you here. You mentioned that you are an employee of one of the leading telecommunications companies in the U.S. Can you tell me how you got into that?
I can. Actually, my career in telecommunications is kind of a second career. My A lot of my work history and background is actually in property management. So I was at a point where I was taking care of my dad, and he transitioned, and I had some downtime. And so for about 12 months or so, I just needed to step away because it was a lot that happened in that period of time. And I was talking with a friend of mine, and she suggested that I apply to the telecommunications company that I was referring to earlier. And lo and behold, I put in 3 applications, just looking for something different because I didn't want to go back to what I had been doing. And I got a request for an interview, and literally I was working before I was actually technically ready. So it was like, whoa, that happened really fast.
Right.
So yeah. So that was actually my segue into it because I just really wanted something different to do. And so telecommunications really piqued my interest. I know the world doesn't operate without it.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not a part of that industry process in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether you are working in the industry or you use the products that are what we offer, you're affected by the technology and telecommunications, whether you like it or not.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it was interesting, and I was like, yeah, why not? So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I got there.
Wow, that's interesting. So property management to telecommunications.
Yeah.
That is an interesting kind of transition into a different um field.
Mhm.
So you know, I, I was gonna get into a little bit about what route you took to kind of get to the position you're in now, but I
Mhm.
want to veer a little bit into with property management. What kind of things that you did you see with that you brought into what you do now, right? So you were with property management. Now you're in
Mhm.
workforce management, right?
Mhm.
So do you see any parallels there?
So one very common skill set is definitely customer service.
Oh yes.
So I actually entered the company um, through a department that we call DOJ at the time.
Hmm.
And our customer at that point was the technician.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we supported the technicians by troubleshooting when they were having difficulties during an install, or if they were out to, say, for instance, change a modem and the modem wasn't working and they had done all that they could do.
Right.
And we needed to do a deep dive into what was not making this device work. So, um, supporting people at a point where the need is specifically theirs,
Hmm.
meaning to people, when we have something that's going on, we're the only and most important thing in whatever the situation is.
So
And
true.
so, from property management to where you're dealing with somebody's home,
Hmm.
and that's one of the biggest purchases a person will make.
Oh yes.
And it's supposed to be a safe place and, the place that you want to come to and pleasant and things working properly.
Hmm.
To supporting the technicians, it's literally the same skill set. It
Wow.
translates seamlessly.
Wow. Yeah.
And you also have to approach it in such a way to where you make them feel important. So that literally was a direct translation between the two industries. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. No,
mhm.
that no, you hit the nail on the head because that's 100%. I can relate with that 100%. I actually started off in repair, and
Mm,
one thing you said that just made my ears perk up is, everybody's problem is the biggest problem in the world, right? And everybody's is the most important problem, right? And so I can
right.
definitely see that on the telecommunication side. But then, yeah,
Mhm.
when you're talking about property management, absolutely, right? Like whether it's rental, whether it's a, yeah, house someone's buying, right?
Mhm.
It's home. It's home, and
Yes.
yeah, that's one place that you want to be absolutely comfortable.
Right. So it could never, ever only be a job for me,
Sure, sure. So
using that consideration to weigh how I supported and offered the service to make things, be as they should be. So,
right,
yeah.
right. So with that, like, I mean, so you were dealing with, like, I mean, that's, straight to, like, I would say B to C, right? A business to a consumer, straight to a person.
Mhm.
I'm sure you probably had some people who were coming in a little bit hot. Do you think that
Oh,
it's
on the
probably an
daily.
understatement, huh?
Yeah, on the daily. Mhm.
Do you think some of that, like some of those soft skills that I know you have now, right? Do you think kind of the tough skin, do you think that you built some of that up there too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's difficult when you are sitting across the desk. Again, this is work for me, but it's home for you. You're sitting
Right.
across the desk from someone who, is in a position where maybe they lost their job, can't pay the rent.
Yeah.
And do you only follow policy
Mm.
and create the situation that is worse for the person, or do you give support? Do you give resources? Do you try to help connect people with something that's going to hopefully potentially get them out of the situation?
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's life. And
Right.
so, same thing with your technician. The technician is calling in. He is literally in someone's living room, someone's possible bedroom, someone's, lawn with a dog. Who knows where he's at?
Yeah.
And so he's trying to get things done as quickly as possible. He may be in an uncomfortable situation. So you want to support him to make things best case scenario for him and the customer
Mm. Yeah.
on the other end. So yeah, it literally, when I say it translates seamlessly,
Mhm.
it those soft skills, knowing how to speak to people
Right.
that are in an escalated situation or a heightened um, angry situation, you have to know how to talk to people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
also have to know what it is that you're supposed to be doing so that you can get to the resolution. So
There it is.
it's both and yeah.
And you're walking a fine line, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
something you said there resonated with me is that when you're dealing with people in their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes policy is not enough, right? Sometimes you're going above and beyond, but you are walking a fine line where you say, okay, these
Mm-hmm.
policies and procedures are here for a reason, but
Yes.
also, am I going to policy and procedure somebody who's, trying to figure out their, their life, their situation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you give consideration for the humanity of the person, but you also follow the guidelines. But like you said, there's a fine line between the two,
Yeah.
so that you can produce what you need to produce to continue to remain in the seat,
Right.
so that it can continue to be your job.
Yeah, very true.
But then also, you don't hurt people unnecessarily.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Good. Yeah.
hmm
So, we've talked about your transition from property management to now, being in telecommunications, being in workforce management, working with technicians, right? Which that comes with its own set of challenges. Um,
hmm
can you tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you kind of have faced and maybe how you overcome some of those challenges?
Well, so the entry point was actually with the technician supporting. Workforce management is actually supporting the call center, the people that take the calls from the technicians.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of difference there. But to answer your question, the challenges, sometimes there are, again, we talk about the angry customer, because they're in a situation. They call in, and because they have nowhere else to place their frustration, you have to be able to navigate and speak to that to where you can get to resolution, but also diffuse any unnecessary, and know the difference between, okay, is this person angry because they're just angry, or is there something that we can actually do about it
Right.
to fix what needs to be fixed so they can continue on with their day. And overcoming that sometimes, because it's not just you, it's a two, both people have to cooperate.
Yeah.
To use a situation that can be a little challenging. But again, I think part of it is remaining who you are as a human being, as a person. So if I come to work and I know what my assignment is, and I know that I want to give quality service, I want to give the best, and I also want to remain in the composure that I approach the job in, that's something I have to reconcile within myself.
Yeah.
And not allow somebody to take you off of your assignment or off of your square.
That's true. Yeah.
And some days, because life doesn't just happen for the customer, it happens for us as well as employees.
Right.
That can be a little challenging to navigate, but when you win, you win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
maintaining your own personhood. That's always a win.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. It's like, I know that person's having a bad day, but I've been in traffic for a half hour and I didn't get my coffee. I'm having a bad day too, but like you said, I'm still having to bring I got to take that mask off and put on my professional mask still, right? And that's it could be a challenge, but the best of us figure it out. And it seems like since you've been able to move from, your day of job to now being in, workforce management, it seems like you're moving up, right? So it seems like you've been able to do that, right?
I have. So this is the first transition since I've been with the company that I have made in terms of departments. And yes, to your point, it is a promotion. It is a higher level view of operations for the day-to-day in the call center. Right. So whereas before, people, what happened to my vacation day? Why can't I take vacation? It's like, well, here's why you can't. Now I know why you can't. So
exactly.
Managing those kinds of things. So they are now our customers. So it's just, it doesn't matter what you do. That customer service is the bottom line.
Oh, absolutely.
So, it's really, like I said, it's a higher level view of how things operate. And there are ways here that we're also able to help support staff. We're able to work with scheduling with supervisors. We work with directors and managers when there's some fallout in the field. So say, for instance, maybe a node breaks or something goes haywire up a pole somewhere. And we get a chance to, if the call queue happens to spike, okay, we're investigating what's happening. How do we place the people that are on the phones in the best case scenario, skill-wise, level-wise, to where we can recover, the day. So there's a lot of moving parts. We actually support about 7 different sites across the country, from Hawaii all the way to Florida.
Oh, wow.
So we're
Wow.
on all those time
Coast to
zones
coast.
and yeah, coast to
Yeah.
coast, off the
Yeah.
coast, actually.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some days it's a wild ride, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I just got to mention, you were mentioning nodes and, polls and just, restoring services and things like that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You came from a property management background. You kind of came in, like you said, you kind of came in kind of in entry level at the door with the DOJ, and now you've
Hmm.
moved up. And when did you, so just kind of, we're thinking of like career milestones, right? When did you
Hmm.
realize, okay, I'm actually a telecommunications professional, right? Because you're throwing out word like node, and you're talking about the tech, you know what I mean? So when did you realize like, oh, you know what? I know what I'm doing in telecom.
I think it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, we were at home.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I remember one day I was working with a technician to resolve. I can't remember what his particular issue was, but I wasn't quite sure of the resolution.
Mm.
And so, because I was at home, that means I can't turn around and ask my coworker, "Hey,
Right.
got a code, blah blah blah." And so I said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And when it worked, I was like, "Okay, you can trust yourself. You
Yeah.
know what you are doing." And it was just from that point on, I'm like, "Okay, I got this." And
Right.
that moment, and I wouldn't say that's about a couple of months into the pandemic.
Mm.
At that moment, I realized that I can be confident. I don't
Yeah.
have to be weary or, rely on something outside of myself to be able to produce the work. So that's that moment for
Oh,
me.
oh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I tell you, so and I mean we may have talked about this before, actually coming into doing the podcast, but this podcast is, my main goal is to try to get these perspectives so that people who
Mm-hmm.
are thinking about entering the field, or people who are thinking about maybe going and even getting into a tech field, not just telecommunications but tech,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going that way. There's so many different technologies coming into the world, and
Mm-hmm.
you hear people, some people are doomsdayers, and it's like, oh, in 5 years you won't have a job. It's like, yeah, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's going to be people who are able to adjust to the technology, and they're going to just be really good at their job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to hear stories like that, right, where it's like, yeah, I might not have known the tech, but you can learn it. You can learn it.
Mm-hmm. You
And some,
can. And
yeah,
don't be afraid of it.
yeah,
That is critical because to be afraid of it, you get left out of the conversation. So as it develops, you don't have a voice, you don't have the opportunity to help shape it. And when
yes.
you don't have an opportunity to help shape the technology, you honestly, maybe I'm stepping on a limb here, but like you don't have the right to be afraid of it because you've not put anything towards it,
Yeah,
you've not invested in it in any type of way. So,
I'm doing my spoken word snaps right now, because that part what you just said, oh my gosh, yeah. How, you can't be mad if if you seen the train coming, it hits you and you're watching it roll
mm-hmm,
away.
mm-hmm,
You could have moved, or you could have learned how to, you could have hopped on the
yeah.
train and learned how to be a conductor, right? You're so
Or
right.
even if you're on the caboose and you're
Mm.
hanging on by fingernails,
Yeah,
you're on the train.
that's right.
Eventually you're going to catch something.
That's it. That's it.
So
I
yeah,
love that. I
and,
love
and
that,
I
guys.
say that as a not a millennial, excuse me, whew, a Gen Xer, my
Okay.
God, who came into some of this with defiance and like
Yeah.
I will not, but yeah, it's taken my husband and my children
Mhm.
to, it's like, okay, come on now,
Yeah.
let's, and then again, being steeped in the environment where it's this tech every day, all day, it's like, okay, this is nothing to be scared of.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do have to participate.
Out, you got to participate. You got to participate,
Hmm.
and yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Yeah. And so
Hmm.
that I think that is a major milestone. I was going to ask you about some of the milestones that you kind of hit along the way, from coming from where you were to now. I think that's a major one. Are there any other ones that you can think of, that where you kind of were like, you know what, I'm doing really well at this. Not to say
Yeah,
that I'll never transition again, but right now I feel good.
right. So again, just to reiterate, stepping out of that comfort zone.
Mm, mm,
you know, um,
Yeah.
and not allowing myself to be so nervous to the point of being paralyzed. Because I guess to someone it can be scary because it is moving so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, every day it's something new, every day it's something different, but um, it's a worthy um, subject to become interested in and to actually, like I said, participate in. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree 100%. I agree. So, so now that you're here, you're in workforce management. You've told us a little bit about, what that entails. What does a day
Mhm.
in your life look like? What's a day in the life of Denise look like?
Wow, a day in the life of Denise. So um I am here at work Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
But outside of here, my husband and I own a franchise called Frios.
Oh, nice.
Um, and it's a gourmet ice cream bar and fruit bar catering truck.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I know it's so much fun. We get to ride around in what we call our sweet ride and
I like that.
tie dye, bright colors,
Yeah.
and we cater corporate events. We do birthday parties, we do retirement parties, the whole bit. So we bring music, we bring the bubbles, and we bring the truck, and it's just a fun time.
Wow.
So that takes up a lot of our time.
Yeah.
Then I'm also mom and grandma.
Mhm.
So I've got four grandbabies and one on the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, he'll be here in December.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and then I also like to have a little downtime
Yeah. I
sometimes.
was gonna say I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out when you get
Right, right.
that.
And then also working with volunteer organizations. So I volunteer with the YMCA, which is actually where my husband is executive director, Bayer
Oh,
Y. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's
nice.
down in the city.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and then volunteer with NAMIC.
Mhm.
Um, and then every now and then, go out with a girlfriend just to get dinner or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of busy.
Yeah. I mean, but I'll tell you though, like that's one thing, when I think like it was like one of the people who gave a speech when I was getting out of school, graduating, and it was I'll never forget it. They said life is short, but it's
Yeah.
also wide. And this is a
Yes.
prime example of that, right? Where it's like, yeah, I work, yeah, I have my family, I also have a fun entrepreneurial venture. I also, get to enjoy time with my family. I also get to enjoy time with my friends, right? And
Mhm.
you have all these things that can go on that kind of
Yeah.
fill the time, but that you live you're living a full life, and there's nothing like that. And you can feel it, right? You feel it in your spirit when you're actually
Yes.
living your passion, right?
Yes. 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 And that's actually one of a couple of entrepreneurial adventures. So yeah, it's a little more full than that. That's just a snapshot though.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I love it though. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned volunteer. I think this is a good time to segue here.
Okay.
You mentioned volunteer work that you do.
Mhm.
And you mentioned NAMIC. So can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be involved and what part you play in NAMIC now as well? I think it's a good time to make that introduction.
Of course. So NAMIC had a meet and greet. I want to say it was last summer.
Mhm.
It seems like it's longer than that, but at Westport Social
Oh yeah.
here in St. Louis.
Mhm.
And my manager at the time, he said, "Hey, you need to do this because this would seem like it'd be good for you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." So signed up, we went to the social and met so many like amazing people, just young professionals, like very warm and welcoming people. And I was like, this is really nice. So um, after that meet and greet, then I actually signed up to become a member of
Yeah.
NAMIC. Um, and then there wasn't very much activity, I don't think, after that that I'm aware of. But earlier this year, we had a town hall meeting. And during the town hall meeting, I think there was a few of us that showed up at the meeting, and I got an opportunity to meet Cynthia Newell.
Yep.
And after that meeting, she was like, "Hey, can I chat with you?" I'm like, "Sure." So we got to talking, and she asked me about becoming the chair for community outreach for our chapter. And I said, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure." So I took it back to my husband. I was like, "Hey, so what do you think about this?" He was
Yeah.
like, "I think you should go for it." And I'm like, "If he says go for it, I'm going for it." So I said, "Call Cynthia back." Like, "Hey, yes, I'm in. I'm all in. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Where do you need me? What do you need me to do?" So that's pretty much how my involvement developed as a participant, and now, yeah, chair of the community outreach
That's
came
awesome.
into being.
I love it. I love it. And we're so happy and honored just to have you, honestly.
Thank you.
I first talking to Cynthia and just having a conversation with you, just heard a lot of really good stuff about you. And I'm, of
Oh,
course, happy to be getting to know you better as well. So I think this is great.
thank you.
And
Thank
that
you.
event
Thank
was
you.
great too, the Westport Social. So
Oh man, that was so
yeah,
much
it
fun.
was so good. It was so good.
It
So
was.
I'm actually from Louisville, Kentucky, right? So I had to actually drive over, and
Oh, really?
yeah, and so I was there for that. But it was, and we ended up coming back that same night, and it was just such a good time. So I mean,
It was.
I can't wait for us to continue to have some more events like that. That was a really good one.
Yes, yes, I do. We need another one of those soon.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
So, back a little bit more to the telecom side of things. Are there, for someone who, is just kind of coming into, trying to start a career, or like you said, you're right. When I started this job, it was similar to how you did it, where it's just like, for me personally, I had a entrepreneurial venture I was working on. Things didn't
Hmm.
shake out the way I expected them to, and I'm like, okay, I need a job, right?
Hmm.
So, and I put in the
Hmm.
application. You know, all these years later, it's been going on 11 years, and
Wow.
now, yeah, and I've been with the company I work with now for most of that time, but I also worked for another smaller ISP, and I'm in engineering now, and
Mm.
I never expected that to be the case. I just never,
Okay.
I'm like, I
Good
just
for
need a job.
you.
Well, thank you, thank you. But it's like at the time, I'm like, I just need a job, and so and and it sounds like you had not exactly the same, but a similar situation where you may or may not have said, okay, this is going to be this career thing for me.
Hmm.
Is there anything that you can tell someone who kind of had that same has that is in that same position where it's like, okay, I don't know what telecommunications is, or I do know what telecommunications is, and I want to be involved, or I just want a tech job, right? And I'm looking for places to go. Is there anything that you can tell a person who is in that position and wants to kind of get started?
I would say don't be afraid to start small. And by small, I mean like on the phones in a
Yeah,
call center.
yeah,
Because if you show up and you do quality work
mhm,
and you keep what are called your metrics in good standing,
mhm.
you will progress quickly.
Yeah,
There's so much room for growth and opportunity in the industry. You can start on the phones and, to your point, end up in, um, I don't know, network architecture.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I didn't even know there was such a thing, right?
yeah,
So yeah, and then also never stop learning.
mhm.
So keep your education going.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, New technologies, new procedures, new ways of doing things. But yeah, the biggest thing I think would be don't be afraid to start small.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it, right?
Hmm.
I remember being because when I first started, I was in internet and phone repair on the phone, talking to people like you said who were having a bad day because the
Hmm.
internet's out.
Right.
And again, you just never see that. But then, of course you have people who are your leaders, your supervisors, your managers, and so on. And they say, especially with these larger companies, in
Hmm.
this space, there are more in most cases, there are more open positions within this company than there
Hmm.
are positions in some companies, right? Like there's not even this
Yes.
many positions, but there's that many open positions that you can apply for in this
Hmm.
company. And so, yeah, keeping an open mind. I mean, yeah, I think that's great. I think that's
Right.
great.
So, like to your point, like it could be on the phones, it could be in a retail store,
Yeah.
you know, you could be a literal technician in the field, but you stay where you want to be.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Whatever
It
feels good.
doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that way. You can, there's so much room for growth and opportunity. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that would
Absolutely.
be my take on that.
I love it. I love it. That's great. That's great. And so, and just back to challenges a little bit. Are there any challenges, I mean, like that are kind of specific to you that you've seen in telecommunications, or has it kind of been something where, you've because I mean, NAMIC exists specifically, right? Because it's not National Association for Multicultural and Communications, right? So we exist here so that people feel community, right? So with NAMIC being in place, we try to make sure that people do feel that. Have you seen any challenges, or have on the other end, have you felt just camaraderie in the telecommunication space, based on just some of your own personal background?
I would say that we need more women
Yeah. Hmm.
and we need more women in leadership.
Hmm. Hmm.
That when I look across the scope seems to be um, somewhat of a challenge.
Hmm.
Maybe progressing is not an issue, but progressing into the points of being in upper leadership.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, and I think that's not just specific to telecommunications industry. I think that's just period.
Yeah.
But again, even though that be a challenge, you don't be afraid.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to try.
Yeah.
Um, so to answer your question, I hope that answered your
Yes, it
question.
does. It does. No, it does. It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. No, and no, I think you're right on. And I've definitely, yeah, you see it, right? You see it, and especially,
Mhm.
we are in it, it sometimes doesn't feel like that because there's so many different things that you do. But
Mhm.
we are in the tech field, right? And you definitely see that disparity a lot in the tech field. And
Mhm.
I mean, to your point, right? Sometimes it's just like, when someone is in that room, right,
Mhm.
who is like you, um,
Mhm.
in most cases they tend to keep that door open, right?
Mhm.
They t
Mhm. Yes.
they most in most cases they at least keep it cracked, and some people just blow the door off the hinges
Right.
and say, let's
Right.
go, it's time, and
Right.
without that, though, when you don't have someone in the room who understands your background, who understands kind of where you're coming from, it's
Mhm.
it's harder to make, it's like, okay, yeah, I went, a vertical move, or I moved up to the next level in my individual contributor, but I
Mhm.
want to lead people, and I can lead people. That's in my heart to lead people, right? How do I
Yes.
get
And
there?
I'm well capable to lead
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, I
I'm
fully
developed to do so. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
That's great. No, I agree 100%. I love it. So yeah, with that being the case, we've kind of talked about advice that you have for newcomers, and we've talked about kind of what it is to like a day in a life. Do you have, just thinking out into the future, do you have anything that you kind of foresee for the industry, or even for your piece of the industry? Things that are coming down the pike, things for people to be prepared for, or things that you're just like, hey, I see it coming. If you want to get into this, that's what you should look to do. That's what you should learn. Anything
Mhm.
like that?
I think this answer is probably going to be redundant, but I'm going to go back to it. AI.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not only is it coming, it's here, it's been here.
Yes.
So it's past, present, and future.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I think that we've got to embrace it.
Oh yeah.
It's literally that was a really big question. It's probably a really small answer, but that is it in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
AI,
Yeah.
get on board.
Absolutely. Get on board, right?
Little
Like you said,
children, get on
like,
board.
yep.
Yes.
It's like you said, get on the train. Get on the train.
Get on the train.
All right.
Yes.
Well, Denise, I think we've kind of hit on all of the points that I really wanted to touch on. Is there
Mhm.
anything else that you, before I kind of get to my last question going out, is there anything else that you want to hit on? Any things that maybe I didn't really dig into enough?
Um, I think this has been a very well-rounded conversation. So I would just say that, and I'll probably say this again, but I do appreciate the opportunity
Sure.
to be a part of NAMIC. It is truly an honor to even have been asked to be a part, to participate. Um, I, I want to fulfill the role that I've been asked to take, um, and really make a positive impact for the vision for us collectively moving forward. So,
Absolutely. 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 I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it.
me too.
All right. And the last thing, this is kind of a pop-up question I like to ask everybody.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendations for maybe books that you're reading, courses that you're taking, or websites that you frequent? It can be all, or you could just pick one.
Okay. Well, two. So one book that I'm kind of in the middle of right now, is Atomic Habits.
I'm sorry, one more time. You said which one is it?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of that book right now. If you want to change, it doesn't take a tsunami to make big change, although ultimately it will become that. But changing the little things,
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
up 3 minutes earlier, getting up
Mm,
2 minutes earlier, whatever it may need to be for you,
right.
um, so that you can get there on time. And I'm one to talk. uh, my husband's gonna laugh at this, but go to bed a little earlier.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let me not let me go ahead and not say anything.
Right? I'm guilty. I'm convicted. All the things. Um, the little things really do matter.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, into each thing that segues into the next thing, into the next, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Um, and you take those things for granted. So I would recommend reading that book because this is really interesting and impactful.
Yeah, I like
And the
that.
second thing, the masterclass platform, you can
Oh,
sign up for it
yeah,
on the website.
yeah.
Um, but just because it's not necessarily telecommunications, that there are a wide range of uh, tutorials from people across all industries: sports, finance, um, cooking, uh, writers,
Yeah,
you name it.
yeah.
But listening to people who are at the top of their game
Mhm.
is only going to inspire you to get to the top of yours.
Absolutely.
And that is an excellent platform. I think that if you can sign up, start with your favorite person and
Mhm.
go from there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was seeing the ads for Masterclass back when they kind of it was sort of well when I first heard about it. I'll just say when I first heard about it, and one of the people is I'm a big fan of is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna get
too. Oh my God.
it.
His session is amazing.
Oh
I
my
listened to
gosh,
his. It
that's
is
the
absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
That's the
Yeah.
only one I've heard, and every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it back so I can get on there and I can hear more, and I just still
Yes.
haven't. I need to get back on there.
Yeah. There's so many on there. I mean, yeah, you'll learn a lot. And if you learn a lot about the person, you learn a lot about how they got to where they're going. And if you are an introspective person, you'll learn something about yourself along
Oh
the way.
yeah, yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, Denise, this has been great. And
Thank
again,
you.
thank you so much for doing this, and welcome to the team. We are so happy to
Thank
have
you.
you.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Again, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and again, thanks for coming to Next Up with Naming St. Louis.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found it encouraging and insightful. With over 15 chapters nationwide, NAMIC is passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the communications industry, with a wider range of professional development opportunities, networking events, and leadership programs. NAMIC is dedicated to empowering multi-ethnic diversity in the media and communications industry. Members gain access to valuable resources, industry insight, and an incredible community of like-minded professionals. For more information, go to NAMIC.com or to the NAMIC St. Louis chapter at NAMICSt.Louis.com or LinkedIn at linkedin.com/naming St. Louis. Thank you and have a wonderful month. See you next time.